Hurricanes are very deadly storms and should never be underestimated, capable of not just destroying cities and buildings but crushing our very accomplishments as human beings, as well as destroying and separating families. And throughout history, although they have done much damage, keep in mind these are just a force of nature that is natural to our world. And today here on FTD Facts, we are going to discover some more interesting facts about hurricanes. Hey everybody, what's going on? Dave Walpole here and welcome to FTD Facts, a channel where we generally talk about people, cultures, and places from all around the world. But today, I figured, with hurricane season going on and the destruction that's happening all over North America, I figured, let's talk about hurricanes because there are some really interesting things about them. And yeah, I just wanted to do a video on nature. Maybe next time I'll do one on tornadoes. But either way, before we get in this video, I want to let you guys know about Grammarly.com. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that at the end of this video. And before I get in this video, I want to know, what is the scariest natural disaster that you could think of being in? Would it either be a hurricane? Would it be a tornado? Would it be an earthquake, a volcano? What is the worst to you? Let me know down there. Now, of course, we know that there are many different types of spiraling tropical storms, such as typhoons or cyclones, or in this case, hurricanes. But where did the term hurricane come from? It doesn't really sound like an English word. Apparently, the name hurricane is derived from the name Tano, which is a Native American word which means evil spirit of the wind. And to me, that sounds pretty darn accurate. Now, the most deadly hurricane in US history was the Galveston, Texas storm. And although it wasn't quite a Category 5 hurricane, this was a Category 4 with winds up to 145 miles per hour. Now, this storm hit major on September 8th, 1900, when it smashed into the island of Galveston, killing approximately 8,000 people on the island, and anywhere between 12,000 throughout the entire storm's reach. And it was because of this, they created this 17-foot high, 4.8 kilometer long Galveston seawall to prevent something like this from happening again. So in today's world, when it comes to hurricanes, it's not uncommon to see a plane fly into the storm, and as a matter of fact, they do fly planes into the storm intentionally to collect data. But my question is when did this happen for the first time? Well, actually, it was in World War II. This was during the 1943 Surprise Hurricane. Now, as it approached the Bryan Field in Bryan, Texas, it caused the local airfield to evacuate many of its military planes. Now, because it was a United States colonel named Joe Duckworth who actually made a bet with the British pilots who were training there, he made a bet that he could fly into the storm, and to prove himself successful, he flew his AT-6 trainer craft into the eye and returned safely, and that began the reconnaissance of hurricanes that we know of today. So here's one fact that might make your jaw just drop right down to the floor, and that is when it comes to the amount of energy that a hurricane has. For a Category 5 or possibly a Category 4, they say that it releases the energy of 10 atomic bombs per second. Per second. That's insane. I mean, no wonder why there's so much devastation when it comes to Category 5 hurricanes. Now, one thing I've always wondered when it comes to hurricanes, is it possible to see tornadoes? Because when you think of a spiral storm, you don't really hear of hurricanes having tornadoes, but believe it or not, it's actually quite common. Although these tornadoes can be very brief, as a matter of fact, in 1967 during Hurricane Balua, which was a Category 5 hurricane, it had the highest amount of these storms, with over 135 recorded tornadoes. And at that time, Hurricane Balua was the second costliest hurricane in all of US history, with over $1 billion in damage. However, not including 2017 hurricanes, which the season is not over at the time of recording this video, and they are still estimating the damage done by the storms, Hurricane Katrina was the most expensive hurricane, which equaled over $108 billion in damage when it wrecked the United States on the East Coast in 2005. And to give you an example of how different Balua was to Katrina, in 2017 terms of economy, Katrina equals $135 billion and Balua only equals about $7 billion. Okay, so I know this video is titled Hurricane Facts, but let's be real, when we want to talk about the biggest tropical spiraling storm, we have to look at typhoons, because Typhoon Tip was huge. As a matter of fact, it is the biggest tropical storm by size to date, equaling over 1,380 miles or 2,220 kilometers in diameter, which is roughly the size of half of the country of the United States. This thing happened in 1979, and if you put this thing on a map, it would go from New York City all the way down to Houston, Texas. That is huge, and yes, it is still the biggest spiraling storm that's ever been on the planet that we've recorded. Now, you know what, just a short fact, did you know that Florida is hit by approximately 40% of all the storms that hit the United States? Pretty impressive. I don't know why people live there. Now, we all wonder why hurricanes are named after people. Well, this actually began in 1953 by the National Hurricane Center. And for the first hurricane that was named that year, it was actually after a female. It was Hurricane Alice. And until about 1979, all hurricanes were named after girls. This ended with Hurricane Bob, but also you should know that they actually reuse names, because in 1978 there was also a Hurricane Irma, and when it comes to these names, they are not all chosen by the National Hurricane Center, but by a committee of the World Meteorological Organization. And currently, all the names for hurricanes are already predetermined, and they have them already in line until about 2025. And lastly, to close it all out, the year that had the most recorded hurricanes in United States history was 2005. With obviously Hurricane Katrina being the worst, they had a whopping 15 recorded hurricanes, which has defeated any other recorded amount in US history. So there you have it, guys. That is just a quick look at some cool, interesting facts about hurricanes. My name is Dave Wapple, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Guys, before you get out of here, check out Grammarly.com. These guys are our sponsor, and if you guys want to improve your English while you're using the internet, this is the best program for you. Because first of all, it's free. Yeah, it's great, so go check it out. However, that is it for us, but when it comes to hurricanes, they are deadly storms. And for us, we have to say, for those who are living within the paths of these storms, be safe, don't take risks, and protect yourselves and your loved ones from the forces of nature. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, you know what, you might want to learn about some of our country videos, which is really fantastic. Check out our countries playlist. Also, considering this is our first time talking about weather, well, we don't really have a lot of weather videos, not just yet, but check out this video as well, because you might find this rather interesting. Other than that, subscribe for daily videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!